Today on the Digg Podcast, we're going to address the challenges that we all face in business. I know you face them, I face them too. So the small business clinic that we're bringing to you today on the Digg Podcast will address challenges that everyone faces day and daily. You're also going to hear from experts who are going to advise and educate on how we can all face those challenges head on. This is a good one. So Nick, we're going to start with you. The only man that I could get to, not in a bad way, but to offer himself up for the panel. So there's other men in the room and other men watching on social, but I was like, where are the men? So Nick messaged me and said, I absolutely will share about my business and some challenges that he has faced. So I think big round of applause for Nick for being like the panel, the male on the panel. So Nick, do you want to tell us a little bit about your business?
Yeah, well, Roisin and I, my partner, started Cafe Ironic and Roco Cosmetics August 21. We are a small business, new start, getting up off the ground, and it's been faced with a lot of challenges. Through lockdown, through a number of different factors, staffing issues, you name it, we've been through it from start to finish. So if I can shed any light and help anybody in the room, I'll try my best. Okay, so when we were talking, you talked a lot about, and I suppose it mightn't be a topic that people think you're going to say, but like prioritising your health and your mental health when you're working full-time in two businesses along with your partner. Yep. Talk to us about that a wee bit, because I'm sure lots of people will be the same. When you're starting a business, you wear many hats. It's not just one thing that you're doing at any one given time. You know, it's not your 9-to-5 job. You're working 80 hours a week. You know, you're doing everything from admin to social media to cleaning the floors, taking out the rubbish, going to the dump. You know, it has to be done. That workload weighs very heavily on your stress levels. Things you used to do for hobbies, your sports, your everything else, it becomes, you know, obsolete. You don't get to do that anymore. You know, we have 3 young kids as well, and they demand an awful lot of time. So with that, you know, you find that the time that you have for doing all the extra things is no longer there. When you get home, it's the routine, the kid routine, the bed, the baths, it's everything else. And then you're sitting down to do emails at 9, 10 o'clock at night, and that's usually maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, nobody sees what goes on behind the scenes. And with that, all those things that you need to relieve your stresses and take all that away, you don't get to do. So it builds up and builds up. It's like a pressure cooker, you know, and you need to release some way. Yeah. So and I find that very difficult. So whenever Nick was saying that to me, I was like, right, who's going to have, because I'm the exact same. I find it hard, I struggle, I get stressed out, and it's not good for your mental health or your relationships in your home. So there is a woman here. Where are you, Terri? Terri McCanny, there you are. So Terri reached out on social to me, and then I said, I wonder, could you help Nick and everybody else in the room? So I'm coming over to Terri, and she's going to tell you about her business and then what her tips are for all of us who are facing those challenges. Thank you so much, Terri.
No worries. How you doing? It's been a great day so far. So I'm going to start off by saying what you're not expecting me to say, because everybody thinks, because I'm in the fitness industry, I'm going to go up and go, you just do this and it's this simple, and here's 5 tips that'll change your life, which I don't unfortunately have for you, so I'm sorry before we start. I want to start by saying, like, every business owner, particularly when you're starting off, struggles with this, and I bet you there's nobody sitting here thinking, oh well, I have that sorted, I have my health under control, I have my well-being under control. I bet you're all going, right, well, I hope she has something good to say here, because I'd like to know. And when we talk about balance, and it's a real buzzword now in the industry, in the fitness and wellness industry, about balance, but I've kind of tried to push that to one side when I look at balance in a day or a week or a month, because sometimes, like you and I talked about earlier, you have to put your shoulder to the wheel. And if you really believe in something, like my job is my passion for life, it's not just something that I'm doing to make money. I really believe I'm helping people and I'm empowering people, so I have to at times put balance to the side. But what I do is look at it in the quarter or in 6 months or in the year. So what we try and do is, when we're coming into a new quarter, we'll try and sit down and put those weeks in and ring fence those weeks and say, right, that can't move. That 1 week can't move, that 1 day with the kids, that 1 evening, we are not going to add anything in no matter what opportunity comes up. And that can be really difficult, especially when you work together as a couple, because we both have different priorities. He's a finance man, I'm like, oh, but look at this, we could do this. So that's the first thing I'd say. And then the second thing I'd say, like, set and manage expectations of yourself and your team. And this is something I really struggle with. Like, if you, and I bet you some of you will really agree with this, do you ever sit and look at what you think you're going to do in a week? Like, and you're like, see this week, and then when you actually break it down, like, 20 people wouldn't do it. Like, you're just never going to, you're like, I tell you what else I'm going to do too. So you're like, I'm going to do 50 washes in the house, I'll clean out that cupboard, I'm going to take over the fitness industry, and somewhere along the line I'll bring the children to the park. You know, we just overcommit ourselves. So I really say, like, set your expectations. What can you achieve this week? And then be really tight on those. So that kind of leads me into the next part about creating non-negotiables. And these are things that, and I'm not saying any of these things that I don't actually do. Anything I'm telling you today, I actually do every single week. It's not just some concept that I've read in a book. It's things that have helped me when I was opening our business. So my non-negotiables are around dimensions of health, which I know sounds really trendy and cool, but it is something that if you can think about it can really help you. So we use the Empower framework with my clients. That's what we use. So for every letter of Empower, we have a dimension of health. So E is for emotional health. And everybody that's successful on the stage today talked about being able to manage the bad days. That's your emotional health. And if you're too tired, or you're too hungry, or you haven't got to talk to your friends in a while, the smallest thing can tip you over the edge. You're like, there's no Diet Coke in the fridge. You know what I mean? So you have to put time in for emotional health. Like, we, in the wee journals we do with my clients, we write in how we're going to look after it this week. And you might be sitting there going, actually, yeah, you need to look after your emotional health. It's so, so important. So M's for mental health, and I'm going to say mental and intellectual. So I'm kind of preaching to the converted here because everybody's here to learn and grow, and I find sometimes with our clients they forget that side of themselves that wants to learn and get better. And when it was Matt this morning said he'd read 200 books, I mean, I don't think I'm quite at the 200, but I listen to podcasts, books every time, and that just inspires me. And sometimes taking that half hour out of the business and I'm walking and I hear something and I think, that's really going to help me going back. So you think the half an hour's time out of your business, but you come back more productive. So it's really powerful. The O is oneness. So I've probably lost about half the room there. Like, she's a hippie. I can't deal with this. But connection to yourself, your own wee inner voice. For 10 years, I did a job I hated because it was seen as successful. I was wearing a suit to work. Can you imagine me wearing a suit and high heels? But that's what I did because I wasn't connected to who I really was. And you'll never be really successful if you're not connected to who you really are. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how high up you get. You'll never feel fulfilled. You'll always feel empty. W is wonders, connection to the universe, like nature. And this is a wee fact for people who are a bit sceptical on spirituality. People who in hospital have views of like grass and nature recover quicker than those that don't. So it isn't woohoo, it isn't silly, it's scientifically proven now. E is for entertainment or enjoyment, and it's probably one of the things that I find hardest as an adult. I don't maybe struggle with it, but I see a lot of my friends doing it. Like, what are you doing to have fun this week? When did you last have fun? What does fun look like to you? It's different for us all, but like, get fun in your week, whatever it means to you. And then R's relationships, and with that one I have no advice because I haven't that one, phenomenally joking. That one, again, it's just prioritising each other. And I definitely don't have that figured out. But we really try to take that night to say, okay, the business is coming second, the kids are coming second, we're going to try and prioritise us. So that's the one on that. And you might be thinking, right, Terri, like, where do you actually go to work if you're, dealing with all these elements? But habit stack them so you can look after your emotional health and your physical health and like your connection to the universe by being out with your friend with a coffee and walking. Like, tick them off, habit stack the life out of them. James Clear's book's brilliant if you like to hack your habits. So good, like pull them all together. You can like have loads of these ticked off by 8 o'clock in the morning. On a Wednesday morning, I meet 2 other girls, we get a coffee, we walk in nature, and I'm back at home for 8 o'clock to do the school run with my cup full. which is so important. And then it's a routine, not regiment. So when people start working with me, they're like, right, 6 sessions a week, and I'm going to do that. So what I would say is, with your non-negotiables, if you've decided you're going to go to 2 gym sessions a week, be routine about that. So you have 2 to do, but don't, if you've missed a Monday, go, so that's the week done. Like, most gyms and stuff open 7 days a week. Most things you can do 7 days, but usually we be like, sure, it's Friday now, the week's, it's not over. Be like, give yourself a wee bit of space to when you can get the stuff done. But don't give yourself any wiggle room on the non-negotiable. If you've said 2, it has to be 2. If that means you have to do it Saturday, Sunday, you have to do it Saturday, Sunday. And that's where the next point comes in, self-compassion versus grit. And it's probably the thing on the programme that most people, like, you can see a light bulb with them. There's days that you can't push through anymore. There's days that you can't go to the gym, or you won't want to go for a walk because you've done the dump run and you've mopped the floors and you've done all those things, but that's all physical activity. But if we've worked on our feet for 12 hours, we'll be like, but I didn't go to the gym. No, of course you didn't, you're right. So a bit of self-compassion on that day to say, I've done enough. Switch off. Watch a bit of TV. Read a book. That's the day self-compassion's really high. But on the other days, you need a bit of grit, and you maybe haven't done enough steps, and you've sat at your desk all day. That's the day you have to say, right, Terri, we need to get outside here and lift the mood. I'm nearly finished. The second last thing is make an appointment with yourself or somebody else. So you're 90% more likely to do something if you write down when, where, and who you're going to do it with. Like 90%. If you didn't listen to anything else I've said so far, like, put the appointment in the diary. When are you going to walk? When are you going to go to the gym? When are you going to look after your mental health? When are you meeting your friend for a coffee? Put it in like it is an appointment, and like, hold yourself to that. And then last thing is take time to reflect. And I think when I was new in business, and I said earlier on, our bills were 10 grand a month, and I opened a gym, and our first month's payment came through and it was £200. Right, and I was like, sure. And then that's where we think we're going to go, right, Terri, let's go for a run to look after our mental well-being. I was going to be sick. It just was like, where do we go from here? Like, literally, like, where am I going to find this money, or how am I going to do it? So if you take time every week to look back at the wins that you had, like, what went well? We don't do that enough. We always want to say what went wrong. What did you do? And yourself, not just the business. Like, what did Terri do well this week? What did you learn? And I think that's a real important one. It's always a win or a learn to me. It's never a loss. What did you learn, and what can you get better for next week? So there are my tips for well-being when you're starting a business.
So that's Terri, who's a life coach and helps high-performing people prioritise their health. What's your handle, Terri, so people can follow you?
The Conscious Coach NI.
The Conscious Coach NI. So if anybody wants tips. So Nick, what are you going to do? You can't wait to hear.
I'm going to do 100 push-ups right now. That's a joke.
So tell us, like, that's not easy. There's a lot of things going on there now, and it's not easy. That's a process. It's not all going to happen overnight. But, like, tell us, first of all, what is Cafe Ironic for people who don't know?
It's the place to be. If
it is. It is
know.
The place to be.
Yeah.
So it's in Killeisland.
It is in Killeisland.
My hometown.
Yep. We are part of RD Salons, an RD retail store. We're all connected, so you can come in, do your shopping, you can get your nails done, and you come in for a lovely cup of coffee.
The experience.
Yep, it is. That's what it is. It's experience.
Yeah. So do you want to call out your social handle so people can watch how you're going to be chilling out over the next wee while?
You're going to see me on Instagram later on with my feet up. You can find us on all social media handles at Cafe Ironic and at Roco Cosmetics.
Yeah, and like Terri did say things there, but it's not going to be easy for business owners to make those changes because we always put the business before ourselves. But the fact you came and said all of that today, everybody's probably saying, going, yeah, that's me. And Roisin is here too as well, and know you do it together. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what you're going to do. You're going to tell us on social, right? I heard this at the Digg Podcast, and this is what I'm going to do today.
Yep.
Yeah, good. Okay, we're going to be watching, no pressure. So thank you to Nick. There we are, Nick, because we're all in this together. So thank you to Nick from Roco Cosmetics and Cafe Ironic. It means so much to me to have a partner for the podcast which has the same values and mission as me. And that's definitely the case for our partner, Evolve. I want you to listen to their mission and how they can help you grow as an entrepreneur.
Evolve is a community for female entrepreneurs and leaders across the island of Ireland that has been created and funded by Terrace's Enterprises, who believe passionately in business for good. Evolve's mission is to enable you to step into your power and realise your full potential by inspiring you, educating, connecting. And as part of the Evolve community, you will be part of the movement to lift women up and achieve true equality of opportunity. The Evolve Academy will provide a series of face-to-face masterclasses and mentoring. The Evolve Trailblazers and Founders series tell the stories of inspiring women who are paving the way. And the Evolve Library is your first stop online hub, providing a packed resource library to progress your entrepreneurial or leadership journey. Join our community today on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, and at evolvewomen.org. Applications are now open for the very first intake of the Evolve Academy. Take the opportunity today to realise your full potential. Evolve, empowering women to be women of power.
So next up, I want to move to gorgeous Sinead here. So Sinead, I know for years, when I used to have my shop, she always brought her wee kids in, and I've seen her grow her business as well. Sinead, do you want to tell what your business is?
Yes, I'm Sinead and I am the founder of PH20 Luxury Tanning. I've just launched a year ago and have managed somehow to get into 52 retailers across Ireland and growing. And
Clap. Definitely, that's unreal. So good.
yes, we actually done the Balmoral show 2 weeks ago and it was just unbelievable to get your name out there, brand awareness. Everything, it's just great. I've always been so passionate about tanning. Anyone that knows me knows I love tan and glam and makeup, and I have 4 children under 5. And anytime I went into hospital, I would have been like...
Yeah, everybody's going, what?
No, honestly, the midwives would have been like, have you your tan on? And I'd have been going, yeah, of course I have my tan on. Sure, I'm in having a baby. Sure, that's all part of it. Like, but no, I just think anything that makes you feel better, sure, why not do it? Like if it's 10 minutes out of your day or whatever, or your week or whatever, stick it on and you'll feel that way a bit better. And it always made me feel better. So I actually had a hair and beauty salon for 8 years. And then I had my 3rd child. So it was just crazy. And you know yourself, trying to get children minded and all the rest, it's just not that handy. And your mummies or whatever have all been there. So you don't want to just spring them all on them. But then I had my 4th child, actually 2020, and I lost my daddy 2 weeks before that to COVID-19, believe it or not. And I said, right, there's more I can do here. There's got to be more I can do. Like, I can't sit at home. I'm ready to go mental with these children because 4, you know, 1 is 1 and 2 is 20. I'm sure you've heard that before. And I just thought, well, do you know what? I'm just gonna do something that I'm passionate about and go for it. And it's authentic, it's real, I'm going to be me, and I haven't
definitely
really looked
passionate.
back.
You can hear the passion for sure.
And I actually named it then, it's PH20, so the amount of people that have said to me, PH20, oh, it must be skin and whatever. So anyway, the name is actually from, my father was Patrick Hughes. So
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
oh,
so
right,
he
okay.
passed away in 2020, and that's why it's PH20. So it's actually it's a true story. It's not like a made-up glamorous thing that somebody springs. It's actually at the bottom of my heart. That's why I'm going to push it as much as I can to get it to be where I want it to be. And I don't even know where I want it to be at the minute, but I'm just pushing it anyway.
Yeah,
Keep
like,
it lit.
yeah, big round of applause, like all of us. Unreal. Your daddy'd be so proud.
Oh, he would, but he'd be laughing. Like, I could just hear him now. He was a real character. He'd have been going, oh, them women ban my tan. And that's what he would have said. But sure, you know what? Sometimes in a really bad situation, we'll have to just try and make the best out of it, as bad as that sounds. Like, sometimes we'll have to, don't we?
Well, it sometimes pushes you on to strive for the things you wanted.
And I think if you're passionate and you're authentic and you're real, everything will come with it. But obviously, like, I'm facing the tanning market's quite saturated. Like, there's a lot of businesses in it, and we're up against influencers and everything else, and that's where I'm at. That's what I talked to Caroline about. You know, it's one of them things, isn't it? Now social media is it is what it is. Like, everybody here is probably on it one form or the other, but that's where I'm at. I'm kind of like, oh, right, I need to get there.
Talk to us about the challenge. What is it?
Well, I feel like a lot of influencers they're very good. Like everyone's very good, but they're all tied. So that's where my kind of struggle is now, because I'm only coming up the ladder. Everybody's kind of tied, and like, how do you go about, growing? And
getting an ambassador for you as such.
Yeah.
I know somebody's going to help you.
Oh, deadly.
What?
Deadly.
Yes, deadly. Okay, we're making our way. You can see me and Sinead from the same part of the country. Deadly is a popular word. So I'm coming down to Niamh, who you heard from earlier. Niamh is, I'll let her tell you herself actually, do your pitch. But we've already discussed this, so here you are, Niamh.
Hi Sinead, and well done on your business success to date. I know how hard it can be to get into retail. So for anyone that doesn't know me in the room, my name is Niamh Taylor, and I am the owner of a digital marketing agency called Digital 24. We have worked in launching tanning brands into the market, so I absolutely know the struggle that you have. We also work with a lot of Dragon's Den UK startup businesses that are successful in Dragon's Den. So launching them into the UK markets, and then we grow them in different markets on the back of the success that we work in the UK market. So one thing that you said was influencers are all tied up. Do you want to give me a bit of an overview of what do you actually mean by that?
Well, like when you're an influencer and you work with a company, like you're loyal to them, you're maybe contracted, which is fair enough. That's fair enough. That is what it is, but it's hard then for new people trying to like get them, because they can't, they physically can't.
Okay.
So
who's your target audience?
I don't
know. This is when you need Aisling Bremner. You need Aisling Bremner brand. Understanding who your target audience is obviously first and foremost so important. But actually, what you probably have failed to kind of realise is that there is a whole field of influencers that are absolutely nailing the TikTok industry that have not been snapped up by any tanning brands. So I assume when you're saying influencers, you're primarily talking about Instagram influencers, is that right?
Yeah, Instagram, but like somebody else did say to me, TikTok's where you need to go. It's where you need to go. And I've heard that so much this past while, and I'm like, oh, it's time now. Today I'm like going home. I'm like, right, I need to get my TikTok together. Do you want to come home with me and help me?
So I think that's the mistake that actually probably about maybe 70 or 80% of the businesses here, because I work and mentor a lot of small businesses, they actually think that business is operated through Instagram, and it absolutely is not, and it never ever can be. And hearing from, sorry I forget your name, earlier, that just just reinforces that you cannot grow your business on Instagram. You absolutely need and I am so bad at names. Polish London, sorry, Debbie, was saying absolutely everything that we do when we take startup businesses. So having a Google first strategy is always key for us to grow businesses. So that's getting found on Google for search terms that matter to you, whether that's organically or paid Google shopping. So you may already do all of this. There's paid social, so making sure that you have all your paid social. Email marketing, absolutely the most vital channel, and it still continues to be the most vital channel for most of our clients. Sorry, I was just taking a few wee notes. Influencer marketing, so important, but actually we use influencer marketing to create assets to then run ads, because they're the ads, especially in your sector, that will work really, really well. So my answer to you would be go and suss out those TikTok influencers that are up and coming and try and nail them down. And then in addition to that, with regards to if they get success on TikTok, they'll move over to Instagram, vice versa. So you'll have them on those channels. And for a lot of influencers in Northern Ireland, actually, we've worked with them, and the brands that we've worked with them actually have really, really elevated their presence as well. So it works both ways. So work with micro-influencers, so ones that you think actually are really up and coming. Is that okay?
Perfect. Thanks a million.
Thank you.
So influencer marketing is like the buzzword of the day, but it just shows you, like Debbie said, Niamh said, all need to be doing it all, emails, everything. And then you did say about the challenges of being a mummy of 4 and kind of like next topic of managing it all.
Yeah, sometimes it's so tough. It's, you know, even you were saying 10, 11 o'clock at night, but it always is that time. And it is tough because, like, most importantly out of everything is, like my mummy always says, it's like, if she was here, she'd be laughing. Like, your family comes first, no matter what you do, Sinead. No matter what you do, your family comes first. And it's very hard. Like, you do have to remind yourself why. It's like Maria Meckle said to me before, you know, you have to remember why you're working. And you're working to better their life. You know, you're not working to, you know, you want to make sure they're getting the best out of you, the best mummy you can be, the best whatever. So that's hard sometimes, but sure, you know, you've good days and bad, like you said, Caroline.
I know. And do you know what I noticed about Sinead? And I'm used to you all thinking it too. So I always say to small businesses, if they have a voice and feel like they can embrace social, they can be the influencer within their own business. And I think she's unreal for it, because deadly personality, you're not afraid to talk.
But it's like I could sit here all day and talk to you, but see the phone.
Oh, right.
See lifting the phone and talking into the phone. I just can't do it.
Practice, because you have it.
And then you hear your voice back and you're like, oh.
No, but don't be listening to it.
And then our ones be going, mocking me in the background, and I be going, do you know what?
Well, that's what we're going to talk to Bronagh about, but don't listen back to yourself is number one tip, because you do sound
terrible.
Like you sound, and we all don't like to hear our own voices. But who cares if you sell 10 bottles at hand?
So true. No, it's like only for social media. Like, I wouldn't be where, definitely, like, starting a business after lockdown, I wouldn't be where I am. Like, I wouldn't have had the opportunity, like, to grow. And it is so good. It is so good. But you just have to sort of take it to nothing too serious on it, like, too.
I know. But look, so tell people how they can follow you then, so we can all watch the journey.
PH20. I am across Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It'll get better, I promise. Don't judge it. Yes, so PH20 Luxury Tanning. Yes, you'll find me on there.
And actually, we never got the flyers down in time. Was there anything on those flyers?
Yes, I have wee flyers actually. I'll hand them around the tables in a while, and then it's just a wee bit of product detail on it for you, and let you see a wee bit more what
but you
I
can
have
get all that on the socials.
Yeah, you get all that on socials, anything you need.
Okay,
just maybe not me talking.
No, we want to hear you. You're good. You're deadly crack. Is that the right thing to say? So thank you so much, Sinead. So now we are going to talk to Bronagh. And Bronagh is the founder of Moocha Kombucha. And Bronagh, do you want to introduce yourself and your business?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Bronagh.
Hi, Bronagh.
Get those bottles open. And
I know, right? Everybody, that's what we're going to do. Everybody take the bottles if you haven't.
Now, it doesn't taste like Coke. It's good for you. There's a bit of a kick, but the kick's the goodness.
Okay, keep going. Tell us what it is.
So it's a probiotic drink. It's made from organic green and black tea and sugar and a SCOBY. So it ferments for 21 days. I got an innovation voucher, and I worked with the drink specialists in Lahore College, and we've did lots of testing, and it's really good for your gut. So research is starting to show that your gut and brain is connected by the vagus nerve, and that's where the gut feeling comes from. So your gut is constantly talking to your brain all the time, sending signals. So when your gut is right and your probiotic is right and your balance is right, then there's been loads of research to show that everything's going to align and it's going to be awesome.
So there's great health benefits from it, and this was a way for us to get the product in front of you today, but then also hear Bronagh's voice. So Bronagh, the challenge, I'm sure with each person that was speaking, you were resonating with everything, but when me and you talked, we talked specifically about the juggles of family, and so do you want to talk to us a wee bit about that?
Yeah, I have 3 boys, 10, 7 and 5. A lovely husband, and I'm also the youngest of 6 kids, so I have a very strong family, which is really good, but sometimes when you're the baby in the house, you get sort of kept there and you get all the information. And my struggle is I used to be a graphic designer, had a really good job, I spent a lot of time in a car, living in my car, driving on the motorway, doing my job, coming home, and I thought, this isn't working. And I went to Australia, and I was a backpacker. I was eating bread and pasta and drinking beer and having a good time, and got really sick. And that's when I went to see a woman, and she said, have you thought about your gut and what are you eating and what are you putting into your system? It was only then I started to realise that what you put in is what you get out. So I was expecting to run in full power, eating pasta and drinking beer. So that's how the whole process started. So I looked at fermented food and kombucha. And then when I came back here, I couldn't get it. It was nowhere to be found. So I went on a few courses and I got my first SCOBY, started brewing it. 4 years on, working flat out, leaving early in the morning, coming home late at night. So I think it was about 3 nights was home late and hadn't seen the kids, and I thought, this is not the dream, Bronagh.
No.
Yes, you've got a degree. Yes, it's going all well. On the outside, it looks amazing, but on the inside, I'm living in my car. I'm not seeing my kids. I'm not seeing my family. So that's where I thought, I'll start to bottle this. So ordered, I think it was 150 bottles, bottled that, give it out, started to sell it, and now it's in over 30 farm shops, sell online, and we're in the process of looking at a distributor. But
Round of applause.
But,
Unreal.
but then I feel I'm getting back to that stage again because I do everything. So sometimes I feel like there's a massive funnel above my head because I brew the kombucha, I bottle the kombucha, I label the kombucha, I deliver the kombucha, and then
Like Debbie in Polished London was. Yeah.
And I'm getting to the stage where I was like, I've invested now and I've bought a bottler. I just recently bought a capper, which came from London last week. So that's going to cut down on the time. So it's just trying to juggle all of that and be a totally awesome person at the same time.
You are an awesome person. But you talked to me about the word guilt, like mum guilt.
Yeah.
And dad guilt and family, like partner guilt and all the guilt we feel for not being able to spend the time. So when I was talking to people online that could help you, there's a lady in the audience that would like to talk about this, and her name is Melanie Breslin. Where is Melanie? Oh, there you are, Melanie. Okay, I'm coming over to you. So.
Hi, Bronagh.
Hello.
I am Melanie Breslin. I'm an elite mindset consultant, and I work with individuals as well as companies to get your mindset correct going into everyday life, and especially for business as a busy mum. I am a mother myself, and guilt is one of the lowest emotions that you can face. It is the lowest, the same as anger, resentment. So whenever you're holding on to that, you're suppressing that. And as Debbie spoke about earlier on about the law of attraction. So the law of attraction is a secondary law to the law of vibration. And what your body is vibrating at is what you're attracting towards yourself. Okay? Oh, sorry. So as you are sitting in that guilt, whether it's about family, whether it's about your children, you're attracting more of that to you. So you have to bring it to the surface. For me, what helped me in the beginning was being laser focused. You get up in the morning and you have 1,000,001 things to do. So the first thing would be setting your day up the night before. I always start my day the night before. Whenever I go to bed, I have 6 different tasks wrote out. And as I write them out, the next day, if I don't get them all done, that's okay. I get maybe 3 done. Now, I set 4 up on Monday, and I've still one of those to do yet, and that's okay. It's not holding yourself guilty, because the environment, everyone around us, the environment we grow up in, like all the cultural paradigms are holding us back, because your true potential is there for you to grab. It is there for you to grab. And Caroline was speaking to me about you're worried about other people's opinions and all as well. Yeah. Yes.
So recently I've only started to come on Instagram and speak. And I had a friend left me a voice message says, I am so embarrassed for you right now. I can't believe you did that. It's just like, after taking so much to do it, and then it just takes one person to...
Well, confidence will only come through 2 things, okay? It'll come through knowledge and doing. So if you stop now, you have let her take that dream from you. That was me. I am the youngest of 6 as well, so I know exactly how you're feeling. And anytime when I started speaking on camera, now walking on here today wouldn't take a fizz out of me. 3 years ago, I would have been sitting, throwing up in that toilet out there. I would never have stood up to speak. And Laura, me and Laura's known each other a long time, and it's only now that I walk into seminars, teach this, show people what they can do and what they can't do. But one thing for me, I was at a stage in my life that I almost wasn't here because of other people's opinions. And that's when I got into such a dark place that I realised, you know what? That's their life. They're not even thinking about me. It's what I'm creating in my head myself. So for you, go on social media, lift the phone, and especially even for yourself as well, lift the phone, talk into it. It's none of your business what anyone else thinks of you. None of your business at all. And that's what you have to keep telling yourself. And are you going to allow someone else to keep you exactly where you are? Or are you just going to say, enough's enough, I'm doing this for me, for my family, and that's your why? And it's just getting up and doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Bronagh, you are good. Like, you are good on social, and you should. You know, you have an amazing product, and no, that person is wrong. I think you're so good at it, and you know you need to keep going. And everybody follow Moocha Kombucha, please, on social, and give Bronagh the lift that she deserves today, and cheer her on when you hear her talking. Thank you so much, Bronagh. So I just want to thank the small business panel. It's not easy to come up here and bare your soul and then have people try to fix, but we're not even trying to do that. It's just, I suppose, an awareness that you all have challenges, we have challenges, and we're in this together, and you know social can help us all connect to try to get through it. So thank you so much. Hope everybody can follow the businesses, and good luck in your journey. Can't wait to follow and see what happens now. Thank you.
As always, thank you so much for joining me on the Digg podcast. It's my absolute privilege to speak to thousands of you each week. If you want to connect and become part of the Digg community, then follow Digg for Success on social media or sign up to our email list on diggforsuccess.com. Until next week, just remember, this is your time to drive your business forward.